Hello everyone, my name is Cheyenne. I'll be going through the pre-recording for Unit CHCDIV002, Session 3, Promote Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander Cultural Safety. Okay, in the spirit of reconciliation, Hattah Institute of Education acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first inhabitants of the nation and the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, live, and study. We express our gratitude for the sharing of this land, our sorrow for the personal, spiritual, and cultural costs of that sharing, and hope that we may move forward together in harmony and in the spirit of healing. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past, present, and emerging. Okay, so welcome to session 3. Let's look at what I'll be covering during the pre-recording. So first, I'll discuss breaking the untruths of Aboriginal communities today. This involves debunking stereotypes and the misconceptions that persist about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and exploring the realities of their experiences and also their contributions. Next, we'll explore effective partnerships. So why they are so important and how can we build and sustain them. So strong partnerships are key in creating more impactful, culturally appropriate outcomes. We'll then review the resources available to promote effective partnerships, ensuring you have the tools and knowledge to collaborate with Aboriginal communities and stakeholders effectively. Finally, we'll look at I'll look at, sorry, delivering cultural safe programs that encourage increased participation. These programs must respect cultural protocols and empower Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander individuals and communities. Now that we went through the summary of this session, um, let's look at historical context and strategies. It's it's a good time to reflect and integrate what we've learned from session 1 and 2. So first, I want you guys to consider how can we use the information to improve our personal practices. I want you to think about the way we can approach our work with greater cultural awareness and sensitivity. What steps can we take to align our actions with the values of respect, inclusion, and understanding? Second, let's think bigger than that. So how can this information enhance the practice of your agency or organization? So what changes can be made to improve policies? That's what we're going to look at. How can we build stronger relationships with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and deliver more cultural, safe, effective services? All right, now let's explore the role of community service in supporting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. First, services that are designed with the mainstream Australian population in mind often fail to meet the specific needs of Australian um, uh, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. So these services may lack the cultural understanding and tailored approaches necessary to effectively support Indigenous people. Secondly, the ideal scenario is to have community services provided by trained and qualified Indigenous professionals. These individuals often bring deep understanding of the cultural context and unique challenges faced by the communities. However, we acknowledge that this isn't always feasible due to resource limitations or workforce availability. This reality highlights the importance of equipping non-Indigenous services and also service providers with the skills, knowledge, and cultural competence needed to bring the needed to bridge the gap. So let's carry on with the other slide. So effective partnerships. So let's look at the importance of developing effective partnerships between staff, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and their communities. So building these partnerships is very important for ensuring cultural safety within the service. Cultural safety means creating an environment where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people feel respected, understood, and valued. Secondly, when we focus on developing relationships based on mutual respect and trust, we encourage greater participation from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families. This fosters collaboration and ensures that the services provided are culturally appropriate and aligned with the community needs. Our goal is to work together with these communities to create partnership that are built on understanding and a shared commitment to positive outcomes. Building on our previous discussion, let's focus on how effective partnerships must respect and include the unique cultural heritage of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So services must ensure that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives are meaningfully included. So this involves consulting community members, listening to their insights, and incorporating their traditions and values into service delivery. Second, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families often seek a connection with their cultural heritage and their community. It's important that services reflect this in two ways. So first way is the physical environment. So this involves um, symbols, artworks, or art designs that honor Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. Another one is the social connection. So services should actively create spaces where families feel a sense of belonging and connection, fostering trust and engagement. Acknowledging the custodians of the land is a vital step in promoting cultural safety and respect. One key strategy to include in any cultural safety policy is the creation and implementation of the acknowledgement of country. Similar to what I did in the beginning of the session, or exactly what it was. This acknowledgement should be prominently displayed at the entrance of the service to ensure visibility, that it's visible and inclusive. It's also important to incorporate it in other platforms like service websites, newsletters, and official documents and training material as well. By doing this, services will demonstrate respect for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, their history, and their ongoing connection to the land. It's not just a statement, but a meaningful action towards reconciliation and cultural awareness. Developing effective strategies and practices is essential to ensuring a cultural safe work environment. So this involves not only fostering respect and understanding, but also embedding consistent practices across the organization. A key element is the development of cultural safety policy. This policy acts as a guiding framework to promote inclusive and cultural awareness. However, it is not just enough to create this policy. It must be regularly evaluated and reviewed to ensure it remains relevant and effective. Through regular updates, organizations can adapt to changes, address challenges, and continuously improve cultural safety practices, ensuring all employees and community members feel respected and valued. Working with Aboriginal culturally safe services, this is critical in meetings that need for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. One of the key aspects is to emphasize the inclusion of cultural expression, such as visual art, dance, music, songs, ceremonies, and rituals. Now, these elements are deeply ingrained in the identity and heritage, making them essential in providing cultural sensitive services. Additionally, it is important for services to stay informed about the current health issues affecting Indigenous populations, both in their local areas and across other regions. This includes understanding how Historical events such as colonization have impacted and continue to impact Indigenous health today. By integrating these cultural elements and addressing health disparities with cultural awareness, we ensure that the services provided are respectful, relevant, and effective for communities that they support. Okay, to create a culturally safe service or services, it's essential to continually evaluate and refine the strategies we use. This can be done by asking reflective questions such as, are we open during times Aboriginal families can access our services? Accessibility is key to ensure that we meet the needs of the community. Are we welcoming to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families? Now, we need to consider the first impressions when families enter our services. Does the environment feel inclusive and respectful? Do our resources adequately meet the specific needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families? Reviewing this suitability and availability of resources is a vital step in creating an effective and cultural safe service. By addressing these questions, we can identify areas for improvement and ensure that our services align with expectations and requirements of the communities that we are serving. In promoting effective partnership with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, it is important to utilize a variety of resources that can enhance the understanding and also collaboration. Cultural awareness and language services are key tools to bridge communication gaps and build mutual respect. Additionally, government health websites provide valuable data on the health and education challenges faced by these communities, offering insight to shape supportive programs and initiatives. The Department of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander policy website and other policies, guidelines, and strategies inform best practice in service delivery. Finally, the Council of Aboriginal Reconciliation is an essential resource that you guys should have a look. So they offer programs and recommendations to foster meaningful reconciliation and improve relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. Okay, like I've mentioned in previous recordings, there are a whole bunch of videos and video links that are attached to each PowerPoint presentation. Unfortunately, we can't play these during our recorded sessions due to copyright infringement laws. If we've got time during our live session, I will play them. Otherwise, the links to them will be sent out to you guys in email. We do recommend that you guys make some time to watch these videos, as you'll get a better understanding of the topic as well, and it will only further your knowledge about the unit. When building, let's talk about resources to promote partnerships. So when building strong partnerships with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, leveraging the right resources is very important. First, the Commonwealth Department of Health and Aging, along with the Office for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Health, provides comprehensive data, policies, and programs aimed at addressing health disparities within these communities. These resources can guide the development of effective and cultural appropriate services. Secondly, Australian Indigenous educational resources are invaluable for promoting understanding and fostering inclusive practices. These resources cover various aspects from cultural awareness to practical strategies for engaging Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in education and community programs. Lastly, local Indigenous community members are irreplaceable resources. Their lived experience, cultural knowledge, and insight are critical for creating meaningful connections and ensuring that services are designed and delivered in ways that respect and honor their traditions and values. Collaborating with these members strengthens trust and enhances the cultural safety of the service that is provided. Now, this slide highlights the importance of ongoing cultural safety training. provided by specialized services. So these services aim to equip individuals and organizations with the knowledge and skills required to create and maintain a culturally safe environment for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Consultants play a critical role in the process by offering expert advice tailored to the unique needs of each organization or community. Their insight helps bridge gaps in understanding and foster stronger relationships. Ultimately, the goal of these initiatives is to enhance the quality of service delivery. By doing so, we aim to improve not only the experience of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people interacting with these services, but also the overall effectiveness and inclusiveness of those services. Um, so here it highlights the important components for developing and reviewing cultural safety strategies and policies in an organization. Now, to create a comprehensive and effective cultural safety, it is important to involve Aboriginal staff or staff members and local Aboriginal communities. Now, when it comes to Aboriginal staff or First Nations people, their lived experiences and perspectives are invaluable in shaping policies that are truly inclusive and reflective of their cultural heritage. All staff as well. So ensuring everyone contributes to and understands the policy fosters a unified and informed workplace culture. And of course, local Aboriginal communities. So open communication and ongoing support with these communities ensures the policy is culturally respectful, relevant, and grounded in authentic engagement. It's important that we do regular evaluation and collaboration with all these stakeholders to help maintain the policy's relevance and also its effectiveness, ensuring cultural safety remains a priority in the organization. Um, we need to ensure the effectiveness of cultural safety policy. This is important to include measurable outcomes. These agreed outcomes serve as benchmarks to evaluate the success of the strategies implemented. Regular evaluation is a critical component to service deliveries or programs, and curriculums should be reviewed consistently to assess the alignment with the desired cultural safety outcomes. The ongoing process ensures that strategies remain relevant, effective, and capable of meeting the evolving needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. By prioritizing review and accountability, we create a workplace that upholds cultural respect and safety for all. Developing effective cultural safety strategies begin with a self-assessment. So this initial step allows the service to identify any barriers accessing services for the local Aboriginal community. It's critical to include all staff members in the self-assessment process. The input not only provides a comprehensive perspective, but also fosters a collective commitment to improving service delivery. Additionally, the question used in the self-assessment can form the foundation for meaningful consultation with community members. This approach ensures that the strategies developed are informed by genuine collaboration and tailored to meet the community's specific needs. To ensure cultural safety strategies are effective and remain relevant, they must be reviewed and evaluated regularly. This process involves the engagement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, like we discussed, as insights and lived experience are invaluable. The evaluation should actively involve the families also who use the services, along with key community representation such as local elders. This collaboration helps refine the strategies, ensuring they truly address the needs and priorities of the community while fostering trust and mutual respect. Regular reviews of cultural safety strategies are essential to demonstrate a genuine commitment to addressing cultural barriers and critical issues as they arise. So this ongoing process ensures that policies and practices remain effective and relevant. When changes or issues emerge, the relevant policies may need to be adjusted to meet new challenges. It is important to recognize that cultural policies are not static. They are continuous work in progress. This requires open and effective communication with all stakeholders, including staff, community members, and service users to ensure the strategies remain responsive and impactful. Self-determination is a key principle in promoting autonomy and empowerment for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It involves transferring decision-making power from government authorities to these communities, allowing them to take control of their own affairs. This shift means fostering programs and resources that enable Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to rebuild their decision-making capabilities. It's important. It's about creating opportunities for them to shape their futures on their own terms, ensuring their voices are central in every decision that affects their lives. Self-determination represents an ongoing process of choice, ensuring that Indigenous communities are empowered to meet their social, cultural, and economic needs. Importantly, it's not about creating a separate Indigenous state, but rather about fostering the ability for communities to govern and support themselves in ways that reflect their unique identities and priorities. This principle is grounded in the fundamental acknowledgement that Indigenous people are Australia's first people. Recognizing this truth is a critical foundation for granting Indigenous communities the rights to self-determination, ensuring their voices are central to decisions that impact their futures. Self-determination encompasses a broad spectrum of actions, ranging from policy formulation to provisions of cultural relevant services. Importantly, this means ensuring that services are delivered by cultural peers or elders, rather than individuals or systems that fall outside of Aboriginal culture. In the early 1970s, Aboriginal people made a pivotal request, the right to administer their own communities. This was a significant milestone as the federal government agreed, albeit with specific conditions. The outcome was the creation of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Commission, or ATSIC, a central body tasked with enabling self-governance and decision-making for Aboriginal communities. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, or ATSIC, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Commission, or ATSIC, has undergone many transformations and is now integrated under the department known as the Prime Minister and Cabinet. These changes reflect the shifting landscape in how Aboriginal self-determination is administratively supported. In addition, organisations like the National Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Organisation play a critical role in supporting Indigenous autonomy. So this organisation focuses on fostering healthy futures for Indigenous communities and advocates for the unique need of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Importantly, this organisation, the National Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Organisation, highlights that mainstream services often fail to meet these specific cultural and community needs, underscoring the importance of self-governance and tailored services. Across Australia, various projects and programs are actively working to preserve the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages still spoken today. Many of these efforts also aim to revive languages that have been lost, ensuring that these vital elements of cultural heritage are not forgotten. For some Indigenous people, the traditional language remains alive and continues to be a significant part of their identity. For these communities, English often serves as a second language, emphasizing the importance of cultural sensitive communication and literacy support. Language differences can lead to significant communication challenges when engaging with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. In these instances, it is often essential to use an interpreter to bridge the gaps and ensure accurate understanding. Elders or family members are sometimes asked to fulfill these roles as they bring cultural context to the conversation. However, in cases where more technical or formal interpretation is required, trained and qualified interpreters may be engaged to ensure effective communication. Effective communication is key when engaging with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. You need to take the time to build rapport, as establishes trust and respect. Start by introducing yourself in a warm and friendly manner. Ask about the country they are from. This will show genuine interest and respect for the connection to land and community. Share stories of interest to create mutual understanding and always show respect in your interactions. Finally, assess whether there is a need for a translator to ensure clear and effective communication, particularly when language barriers exist. Clear and respectful communication is essential when engaging with all people, but especially with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as well. You need to begin by actively listening. So this will show respect and foster trust. You need to avoid using complex or unfamiliar words and explain the purpose behind any question you need to ask to maintain transparency. You need to check for understanding regularly, as this ensures the message has been effectively communicated. When appropriate, use diagrams or images to clarify concepts visually. Always be mindful of non-verbal communication, such as facial expressions and body language, as they can convey unintended messages. Remember that direct eye contact may not always be appropriate in some cultures, so be sensitive to this. Finally, understand that silence is often valued. It can signify thoughtfulness or respect, so embrace it rather than rushing to fill it. Building strong relationships, once again, with the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities require an understanding of cultural sensitiveness, especially around the concept of shame. For many Indigenous individuals, sharing personal or private information can evoke deeply felt embarrassment or discomfort, particularly if breaches of confidentiality occur. It is important to respect their feelings by ensuring privacy and demonstrating cultural sensitivity. To foster trust, take the time to engage with local communities, learn commonly accepted words, and understand the protocols specific to the area. This foundation of respect and cultural awareness will enhance communication and build meaningful relationships. In Western culture, time is often strictly structured, with a strong emphasis on meeting deadlines and adhering to schedules. However, in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures, time is perceived differently, with greater value placed on family responsibilities and community relationships. When engaging with Indigenous communities, it's important to consider this cultural perspective, offering flexible consultation times and also taking the necessary time to explain processes without rushing fosters better communication and mutual understanding. Adapting to these cultural nuances will help build stronger, more respectful relationships. Okay, let's recap today's session. So we explored the untruths or misconceptions surrounding Aboriginal communities and the importance of addressing these to promote understanding and inclusive environments. We discussed the significance of building effective partnerships and resources available to support these initiatives. We highlighted um, the need for cultural safe programs that encourage participation and engagement from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We delved into language and literacy as vital components in preserving Indigenous cultures and improving communication. Finally, we examined the role of community services in delivering cultural appropriate support and care. These topics are integral to fostering a respectful, inclusive environment for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their communities. Further to this, we looked at self-determination as well. We looked at cultural safe policies and strategies, the importance of creating, evaluating, and maintaining policies that ensure cultural safety within services. We looked at the importance of acknowledgement of country and cultural events as well. Okay, so that's the end of the recorder session for session 3. If you've got any questions or you need any clarification about the content that was covered, you can contact SLO, ask for their support, or they'll get you connected with one of the trainers, or you can directly email me as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's session, and I'll see you during the live sessions as well. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good day. Thank you.